Oh, boy, what a gut-wrenching loss last night for the Philadelphia Phillies. And nobody stayed up that late for it, right? You saw the highlights as Patrick Bailey hits a walk-off three-run inside the park home run. I got questions about, listen, if you mismanage your bullpen, something like that's going to happen. I believe the manager mismanaged his bullpen last night. But here's the first question I asked. When you look at the play, and you've seen it now on replay a lot, where is your left fielder on that play? The ball hits on the right side of center field. It hits that weird angled wall, and it scoots towards left field. What on earth was Max Kepler doing in left field? Standing there? Am I wrong? Marsh has to chase that thing down. It almost goes all the way to left field off of that wall, and Marsh is chasing it down. Your instincts as an outfielder, all right, the ball is hit to the right part of center field. Even if you're a left fielder, when the ball's hit, your natural movement is going towards the ball. You may stop, but your natural instinct, when the ball's hit to my left, I go to my left a little bit. Now, there's the wall out there that an outfielder should know about, and the ball caroms. What are you doing? Are you just standing? Are you chasing as well? He wasn't even in the frame of the replay. So I don't know. I don't want to blame this on Kepler. There's so many other things to blame this on last night. It's a fluke that they win the game. I mean, you could not have thrown the ball to that spot and have it happen like that and carry him all the way and get it inside the park. And he's not even that fast, Patrick Bailey, and he scores standing up. But a very strange situation. So let's break it down. Let's break down the bullpen, because you use Romano for 2 innings, and he's probably not that type of guy. You know, he had retired the side in the 8th, and they have to send him back out for the 9th. So why did he have to go back out there? Well, it's because of the way the manager managed the bullpen last night. So let's just go over it quickly. All right, they've got Taijuan Walker on a 60-pitch limit. I don't know why, but they want to protect Taijuan Walker. So 63 pitches, he comes out after 4, did his job. He gave up 2 hits and a run, 63 pitches. He uses Banks for an inning. He uses Lazar for an inning. Why on earth would you use Strahm? Would you burn Strahm in the 7th inning? If you don't have Kerkering, wouldn't you want Strahm for a later part of the game? What is the point of using Strahm there in the 7th inning? Now, explain this to me. Lee is the first hitter. He's a left-handed hitter. Okay, I got it. The next 2 hitters that are scheduled are going to be right-handed batters. So, pretty much he's going to pinch hit Flores in that situation, and then Bailey's up. I mean, am I missing something here, Ray? Ray Dunn is with me today. Did I miss something? Why would you have to use Strahm in the 7th inning?
I've spent the better part of the last 45 minutes trying to work this out in my brain, and I really can't do anything for you in terms of working this out in my head on why in the world they would go Strahm there. Again, there were 2 lefties coming up, but like you said, Flores is sitting there on the bench. You'd think they're going to pinch hit Smith because they're going to want to get a righty against the lefty, and the top of the order's coming up. You don't have Kerkering for the night. I don't understand how you go him in the 7th and leave yourself with an 8th inning option of Seth Johnson, Joe Ross, and Daniel Robert.
All right, so do we have the manager's explanation on this? He was asked about it. Let's hear what Rob Thompson had to say about this.
We got kind of caught back in a corner because we didn't have Kerkering. And so Strahm pitched the 7th against all those lefties. And it was wanted to use Romano in the 9th just because of the intensity of the whole situation. And it was between Ross and Johnson and Robert for the 8th. And we liked Robert's slider on that group of hitters. And I think it was fine until the pitch clock violation. I think that may have sped him up a little bit. So once he got through his 3 hitters, I felt like it was time to get rid of that inning. And Romano came in and did a great job. 5 pitches, felt like he was strong, felt like he could probably finish it out.
With all those lefties? Well, like I don't understand. You listen. You can't afford to use Strom in the 7th inning. You got to trust whoever you have there to get through the 7th inning, and then you got to use Robert in the 8th. Okay, he got a single walk, and then he struck out Adames, and then he brings in Romano to get Chapman and Yastrzemski. So why didn't you like your slider against Chapman? Why didn't he like Robert's slider against Chapman there?
Well, I would think with a guy like Robert at that point, they're just trying to get him through the 3-batter minimum. I think they like his slider against the 3 batters he has to face. I can't imagine they want Robert working through a long inning. I don't even understand Robert going against the top of the lineup. To me, that's the thing. They say we like his slider against those 3 guys. I don't like Robert appearing in any sort of circumstance that looks like that against the top of the lineup when you have a lead.
But see, here's the thing. A manager has to know that Flores is going to pinch in for Dominic Smith against Strom. Like, what are all those lefties? What are we talking about here?
Well, they're not going to pinch him if you use anyone else.
Okay, I get it, but I don't know. I think that he mismanaged that whole thing last night, and he had to bring Romano back for the 9th inning. I can only use Romano for 1 inning. I can't trust that part of it, can I? He got out of the 8th fine. Now you got to bring him back, and it's very unnatural.
Oh, and it was very clear as soon as he got out on the mound. I mean, that pitch that nearly came back and took his head off, where the line drive right back up the middle, he was leaving the ball right over the middle of the plate. He came back out there, and he gave you the exact case study of why they don't do that for relievers right now in baseball, because his stuff was not the same. The ball was just kind of hanging there over the middle of the plate. He didn't have the same bite on his stuff, and it ended up costing them. And once you burned Romano, I was sitting there thinking, who in the world is taking this 9th inning? Who in the world can you go to take this 9th inning?
There is nobody, so you can't use Romano in the 8th. That's what I'm saying. You almost have to trust Robert there for the 8th, the whole 8th.
I don't want to trust Robert at all in that case. I know, you don't like a lot of these guys. He just
struck out the last guy.
He did strike out the last guy, but Robert coming in the 8th was an oh no. To me, that's where I felt good. They got through 7. I was sitting there like, they have a lead. They're through 7. Let's see if they can piecemeal the end of this. Then you realize that Kerkering's not going to pitch because Robert's out there, and you're like, okay, this just got a lot more interesting. And the fact that Robert allows 2 base runners, I was like, all right, well, I started in my head to cope with the fact that they weren't going to win that baseball game. Because they don't have the options out there in the bullpen. And again, that goes to a higher problem, but it starts with the mismanagement last night of the 7th, because the bottom of the lineup gets to face probably, on that night, your most reliable reliever, because you're without Kerkering.
All right. Now, do you have a theory on my first question? Where was Kepler on that play?
Yeah, I can't get too deep into the Kepler blame here, just because even if he is all the way out in center field, I don't think he's really stopping the outcome here. Like, he's coming all the way from left. By the time the ball actually rolled to him and the ball and him met,
well, wait a minute.
I don't think he's changing the outcome.
Who gets to the ball quicker, the left fielder or Marsh, who now has to run from the crack of center field all the way to chase down that ball?
The ball ended up in center field.
But the ball was headed towards left.
It was headed towards left. I understand that. But by the time the ball got to center field and Kepler met the ball in center field coming from left field, I don't think you're changing a lot of the outcome of that.
How about if you just anticipate something and move towards where the ball is?
Well, there could have been anticipation of, hey, look at that giant wall. If it's going to hit off that wall, it's going to go right past me. Like the center fielder right there, as you're looking up at that wall, you're chasing straight towards it. So, okay, if it's going to hit that top wall, it's not going to bounce.
It all adds up to a
down.
loss for your fighting Phils. And it was not a real good loss. And they lose 2 straight now in San Francisco. We got a lot to talk about today, including the Eagles. We are 2 weeks away from training camp. We're going to get into that. We're also going to get into an all-quarter century team for both the Sixers and the Phillies, which should be fun. And also some Sixer talk, because the win total in Vegas was announced. And we'll talk about that as well. It is General Knowledge Wednesday, however. We got Jason Stark coming our way at 11:25 to talk more about that Phils game. He's always studying the weird and wacky. We'll see where that registers with Jason Stark. But today, General Knowledge Wednesday, Ray against the audience, and the prize is a pretty good one today. 4-pack of tickets to Adventure Aquarium. Take the kids to Adventure Aquarium, the Kaleidoscope Cove, all that stuff, Ray.
I've been there. I'm a fan.
We'll give you the topics after this, Ray. And one of them, I think, might be a category that involves the Bard. Uh-oh. Look out, Ray. The Bard. You know who the Bard is?
No.
Huh?
The what?
William Shakespeare is the Bard.
Oh, nice.
Mike Missanelli Show, 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our video. If you want more from the Mike Missanelli Show, somewhere on this screen, there is somewhere where you can hit the playlist. Keep interacting with us.